Citizens' Right Crusade Network, a civil society organization, on Sunday identified political players and public office holders as masterminds of the rising cases of banditry, kidnapping and killings ravaging Zamfara state. Princess Ajibola, in her address, specifically alerted Nigerians that politicians benefiting from illegal gold mining in Zamfara were the ones sponsoring the endless unrest in the area, and therefore called on the attention of the international community and relevant security agencies to save Nigerians from the hands of politicians causing unrest in the Northwest region.
It is with this sense of alarm that we are calling attention to the security breaches and killings going on in the country, particularly the northwest part of the country. We should have ordinarily specifically mentioned Zamfara state, where so-called bandits have been wasting human lives with incessant killings. But efforts by the federal government to curtail them have seen these contracted killers fanning out into Sokoto and Katsina states. The potentials are there for them to move further into Kebbi, Kano, and just any other state where the alleged sponsors direct them to go. This relocation of the killers has been confirmed by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai.
The group also warned that should the killings persist, the entire country faces the prospect of shortages that will result in increased food prices.
Our concern is that the Northwest and the other parts of Nigeria are strategic remnant of food production axes that have not been destabilized by political jobbers that are deploying terrorism to extract political and economic advantage. Food supply from the Northeast had earlier been reduced by Boko Haram terrorists, who happen to have political backers and sponsors. Food production in the North Central Trial has been hampered by killer militias, killer herdsmen, and ethno-sectarian violence. That leaves the Northwest as the last remaining source of certain categories of food crops, and now Zamfara state. Politicians in that state are about plunging the country into a state of acute hunger.
The group further revealed that Zamfara state politicians, comprising of high-level serving and former state government officials, including some that held ministerial appointments at the federal level in the past, have been found to be the owners of the illegal mining operations and partners with foreign firms that mine gold in Zamfara state, while lamenting that greed for gold and illicit revenue from the precious metal is the reason these politicians fuel violence, which has also allowed them to decimate entire communities and scare the inhabitants away to allow for mining without having to pay compensation or other entitlements that host communities would have enjoyed. The group therefore called for decisive actions to be taken in identifying these unscrupulous politicians to face the full wrath of the law to put an end to violence and terrorism in Zamfara state and other parts of the country.
It is on this note that we call on President Muhammad Buhari to take decisive actions against the alleged masterminders of politically motivated banditry, kidnapping, and the killings, wanton killings, going on in Zamfara state and other parts of the country. These alleged sponsors of the atrocities may be serving and former political office holders in Zamfara state and in the country, to the extent that they threaten the peace of Nigeria. The whole gamut of the applicable laws should be thrown against them.